Chronicle, the prom version. You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Carrie.
If the two of you are planning some kind of joke on a poor, lonely girl,
your king and queen are...
Yes, telekinesis is a very compelling and cheap superpower, making it a favorite of low-budget filmmakers looking to get into the current superhero trend. Josh Trank captivated audiences last year with his ultra-realistic take on three high school boys who mysteriously gained telekinetic powers. And now Boys Don't Cry's Kimberly Peirce will try to do the same with Carrie. And fun fact, Dane DeHaan and Chloe Grace Moretz look a lot alike. Will she be able to deliver as convincing a performance as his star turn? Working against her is the fact that the first adaptation of Stephen King's Carrie is a classic, with many arguing that a remake is unnecessary. It was directed by Brian De Palma back when he made good movies like Scarface and The Untouchables, and made Sissy Spacek a household name. She was even nominated for an Oscar for the role, as was Piper Laurie, who played her mother in the 1976 film. And even King himself has questioned the need for a remake. But we've got one, and it does feature some top talent. There's director Peirce, Moretz, and Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa, playwright turned comic book writer turned TV writer, now writing his first film. And speaking of the script, MGM and Screen Gems say that's the real difference here, as this Carrie is more faithful to King's novel. Plus, even on a budget, the special effects here will certainly be better and flashier than they were back in 1976. But is improved special effects really a good enough reason to remake a classic? I guess you'd have to ask Evil Dead fans, who, regardless of quality, powered the far more gruesome remake to a $25 million debut and $54 million total. Carrie is expected to do similar box office business. I totally want a Carrie sequel, but while I want to see the story continue, I have to admit that while I was leaving the theater, I overheard two separate groups of teenagers complaining that the movie wasn't scary enough. And if that's their takeaway, that means they still don't consider bullying to be a serious problem, which means to some degree that the movie fails, because that's clearly one of the things they were trying to get across. And I thought they did it effectively. I thought that Kimberly Peirce did a very realistic job of portraying bullying, and it was horrifying. I mean, this isn't like a make you jump out of your seat with a scare like Paranormal Activity or Saw or things like that, but it was the horror of real life, which I think is the most terrifying of all. And it was very well realized, and it very, very timely, because as you might have heard, another bullying incident tragically resulted in suicide. And the bulliers, these two older girls, the things that they wrote after the girl killed herself on their social media were just so appalling and unrepentful that it could have been ripped out of this movie. So, I think sometimes people have a tendency to see a movie like this and be like, well, that would never happen. The movie's exaggerating. But no, this is happening. Obviously not the Carrie part, but this is happening in America and maybe across the world, and it should be addressed. But even when people see it in action, they're just not connecting and walking away with that takeaway. Now, I think the reason that might be is because even though the movie makes a very big effort to make this version of Carrie more relatable, more of a regular person just in a bad situation, whereas I feel Sissy Spacek was, a definite misfit, she still seems, I think, too outside the realm of normal to be relatable to your average, teen moviegoer. Which I think, so maybe if they had, in hindsight, 2020, maybe you don't even need the religious mother subplot. You really have to ask yourself, what's Carrie about? And I'm still a little bit conflicted. I saw it being about a bullying film. And I don't know how much the religious aspect was important to the story. Because I think thematically, it has some religious imagery, but I don't think they played up why the religious angle needed to be there enough. If they were going to do that, I would have been more interested, for instance, for the opening sequence to be, instead of what they had, to be more about maybe why Carrie's mother was made the way she was. So the movie, I think, is a really good update of the Carrie, the original Carrie and the novel. I think it's very modern. I really like the way it was done. I felt it was engaging. I really cared about Carrie. They did make a lot of changes to the original to make her sympathetic. But as I said, it's not clicking somewhere. It's not working somewhere. Now, why do I want a sequel if I feel like there were problems? Because I emotionally connected to Carrie. And I told you I got the bullying message. And I really thought that the way they handled when Carrie broke free and, let loose, I guess is the right term, it was really well done. It was very compelling. And I liked, the one thing I did like about the religious aspect is that they kind of, instead of, I think I've read some reviews where they were like, oh, Carrie's like someone from the X-Men. And I thought they put her in the witch category, which worked much better with this real world setting. And also the religious aspects of it. So I liked the idea that, this religious mother has a witch child. I just didn't think that was built on. I mean, the dots were there, but they weren't being connected. As for the acting, I thought Chloe Grace Moretz was really good here. She had a level of vulnerability that she doesn't have as Hit Girl, and I think it made her more really relatable, in my opinion, and likable. She did a very good job with the role. Julianne Moore had a very difficult role to play, nailed it. She was very good, and she made me totally believe that she was as nuts as her character was. But the real standout, though, I thought was Judy Greer as the gym teacher. She was phenomenal. Really did a good job, and really made you care about her, and that she cared about Carrie. And I wish everybody was lucky enough to have a teacher who looked out for them like this, because so often it seems to be the case with bullying that the faculty doesn't step in and do what they should to protect their students. And this teacher goes, I felt, above and beyond. And the girls who play Carrie's tormentors are also very good and truly make their characters despicable. It was just, they were appalling, and I'm glad they didn't pull their punches there. So I liked it. I would like to see a sequel, maybe building more on the witch angle. I thought that was good, but again, maybe I don't know if that's making Carrie more of a genre film. So I guess it kind of exists in this subcategory. But I thought it was well made. I guess not subcategory, limbo. It's like in genre limbo. But I had a good time. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was an important movie about bullying, and I was sad to see that audience members didn't get the lesson or the point, I guess, of the film. So what did you think? Did you like the way this was done? Did you think the bullying angle was well done? Did you feel that the religious aspects were important to the story? And do you want a sequel? Write your thoughts down below. Thanks for checking out this review, and you can watch some more episodes right now.